what's up guys, Ronak here, back again with another video. And last night I watched one of 2019's most anticipated films, Jumanji, The Next Level. This movie is just star-studded with brilliant cast including Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart, Karen Gillan, Jack Black, Danny DeVito, Danny Glover, Nick Jonas and many more. So let's talk about it. Following 2017's hit Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle, this movie finds the entire gang reuniting in their hometown after having spent 2 whole years apart from one another in different colleges across the country. What essentially happens is that Spencer gets sucked into the dangerous world of Jumanji and the entire gang goes into the game behind him to save him. Or so that's what they planned at least. Bethany ends up getting left behind, and what happens instead is that Spencer's grandfather and Spencer's grandfather's friend get sucked into the game instead of Bethany, and this leads to a whole range of different interesting and funny group dynamics. Now, when talking about the good aspects of this movie, the first thing that immediately comes to mind is the amazing cast that they have here and the amazing chemistry that everyone has with one another inside of the movie. Again, like the first movie, the entire cast just works really well as an ensemble and has just great chemistry with one another. They have a great rapport that they establish with one another as well. My favorite acting performances inside of this movie definitely hands down have to go to Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart and Jack Black. Jack Black, as usual, just delivers his funny one-liners and amazing facial expressions. Coming to Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart, they both had to play the parts of Spencer's grandfather and Spencer's grandfather's friend respectively, and so I think they did a really great job of capturing the awkwardness and cluelessness of old people. That is, they were clueless that they're inside of a video game. They have no idea about what's happening around them. And I think that both of them acted in a really great way and delivered all their one-liners and jokes in a really entertaining way. Granted, some of these jokes felt a little unnecessary and predictable. They were really great for what they were going for and just delivered inside of the script.
What's going on? You having a heart attack? Breathe. Breathe. His whole left side is shutting down.
Next up is the plot elements. So this movie takes everything that was so amazing and fascinating about the previous Jumanji and just steps it up a notch. This includes the action, the comedy, the group dynamics, just everything about the first movie that worked is taken up a notch and is just amplified in this movie. There's much more action, much more comedy, a lot of interesting new characters with great group dynamics, and so this movie does a really great job of stepping everything up without making it feel like it was unnecessary. The visual effects inside this movie were just gorgeous. They were really stunning and well handled by the CGI department. They took everything and presented it in a very aesthetically pleasing and visually pleasing way. Another great aspect about this movie is the pacing and the tone. Like the previous Jumanji movies, this movie has a very light-hearted tone and it is just a fun adventure for you to embark on with the characters, and the pacing is really great as well. It's a really fast-paced movie which never feels boring at any time, and the 2-hour runtime feels like nothing. It just passes by really quickly. Now, coming to the bad aspects of this movie, I only really have just one thing to say, and that is this movie felt unnecessary. It did not need to be made. It was not a necessary sequel to Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle, and that it was way too generic. So what I mean by that is the previous Jumanji, that is Welcome to the Jungle, did a great job of establishing all these new characters and establishing this treacherous world of Jumanji for the modern generation. The way the previous movie ended was pretty nice. It felt like a conclusion to the Jumanji franchise. However, the studios probably just got greedy for more money and therefore are milking the franchise by making more and more Jumanji movies. So I don't have any problems with any of the specific plot points inside of the film. However, as I said earlier, this movie feels way too generic and way too similar to Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle. By this, I mean that it has a very similar story structure and a very similar template, if you will, and it just follows the same pattern. Teenagers get sucked into the game. Teenagers start discovering their new abilities. They're very divided at first. They don't know what to do. They find out that they must defeat a villain in order to save Jumanji and get out of there alive. All of them have their own emotional moments, unite and defeat the villain. That's essentially what happens in this movie too. This film just feels like a rehash of the previous Jumanji, and it feels like an updated version of the previous one with new plot points, new characters, essentially just all following the same story structure, which leads to the same conclusion.
We gotta go get him.
Are you out of your mind? We haven't even picked our guys yet.
Oh, he's just...
Overall, Jumanji The Next Level is not a sequel which needed to be made. However, it does not do bad on any of the aspects at all. It's a very entertaining, fun-filled adventure that you will just have a blast watching in theaters with your friends. If you're a fan of the previous Jumanji movies, I would definitely recommend for you to watch this on the biggest screen possible, possibly IMAX, for the best cinematic experience. My final rating for this movie is a 7.5 out of 10, and after rewatching the previous one, I can safely say that the previous Jumanji was slightly better. I would have given that movie an 8 on 10, whereas this receives a final score of 7.5. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, be sure to drop a like and comment down below what your favorite part of the movie was if you've watched it already. And be sure to leave movie recommendations that you all would like to see me review next. If you all want a Crisis on Infinite Earths review, I'll be sure to make it happen in January once all the episodes have finished airing. With that said, if you guys enjoy this type of content, I would really appreciate it if you all would subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to hit 100 subscribers before 2019 ends. And do click that bell icon to get notified whenever I upload a new video. With that said, thank you so much once again for watching. And until next time, guys, peace out.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.